enlist your support. And some of you have already enlisted, and I appreciate that. But please forgive me if that's too dramatic, but I believe it's true. We are being challenged like we have never been challenged before in this country. Now, I have people all the time tell me, you really think you have a chance? Do you really think that somebody from little old Fort Bridger, Wyoming could really be elected governor? And I say, yes, I do. If I didn't think we had a chance, we wouldn't be in it. But let me just give you some statistics. When Jim Geringer ran and was elected, when he won the primary, he won the primary with 35,000 votes. We're talking about the uniqueness of Wyoming here. 35,000 votes. He could have won, by the way, with 30,000 votes. We project that in a crowded primary, which we think that there will be, 30,000 votes can win it. Now, in the last month, we estimate that we have talked to about 1,500 people. More than that way back, but 1,500 people in the last month. If you and those 1,500 people just talk to 10 people, we're halfway there. And that's what makes this state so really still a neat place to run as a grassroots volunteer effort. Now, I don't want to brag, I'm not trying to brag, it's a long way to go, but I'm only saying this is to let you know, get a feel for our campaign. As we stand here today, we have over 800 donors that have contributed to our campaign. We have organizations in all 23 counties. We have raised, and I've not shared this with anybody, but we have raised in excess of $150,000. It's still really early. So I hope that that projects to you that we're serious and that we're going to give it our best shot. We have too much at stake to sit this one out. There is too much riding on the future of this state and our lifestyle not to be involved. Now, I'd invite you to visit our website at michaeliforgovernor.com. I have some pamphlets back there. You're welcome to take as many as you'd like. We have some window clings. My wife says never say bumper stickers. They're window clings. They come off your windows. You're welcome to take those. And we also have a list of if you would like to volunteer, be a part of our effort, we would really like to have you a part of it. If you don't know, Eric and Sherry South are heading up our effort in Evanston. We are having a fundraiser here on the 16th of January. Are we committed? Have the McNivens, we've got them booked, don't we? Yes. I don't know if you've ever heard of Kevin McNiven. He is a world champion yodeler, Western, their family. Some of you came over to Mountain View. We had a fundraiser there. Never met these people in my life. And they came forward and said, we will go anywhere in the state and put on a concert at our cost. And so they're coming to Evanston. And I think if you'll come out, you guys enjoyed them in Mountain View, didn't you? It was a wonderful evening. So I think you'd really enjoy it. And they're providing this service just to cover their expenses. That's really generous of them. So we're very humbled by that. So that's kind of a background. Sometimes I get a little carried away, I know, but we're serious about this, and I want you to know that we're in it to win. At the end of the day, even if we don't win, at least I can look my children in the eye and say, we tried. We gave it our best shot. And I think that's really important for all of us to be able to say that. So, enough said. Let's talk about questions. Yes, sir.
Sir, the Founding Fathers and the 13 colonies fought against King George for tyrannies that were far less than what we're dealing with this Marxist, collectivist, socialist regime in Washington, this tyranny. But they weren't, King George wasn't just fighting a few individuals, he was fighting 13 governments. They were organized, they had funding, they defeated the Redcoats. 13 governments, and my question to you is, as we seek to get state sovereignty back, states' rights back, two things. It seems as though to me the best way to stop them is cut their money off, however you do that. And the second is to do what the founders did in the colonial times, and that's get the 13 colonies, 13 separate governments together to help them at work. Do you have any plans to promote states' rights and maybe some sort of a plan that would get the other 49 governors, your counterparts, as you get in as governor?
Absolutely.
To join us?
And that's what it's got to be. Exactly right. It's got to be consensus, but I don't think little old Wyoming's going to have that much impact on the federal government position. But when you start getting coalitions together, when you start putting energy producing states, and when you start putting public land states, and when you start putting all the coalitions that you can put together, then you start making a difference. Just parenthetically, I'll tell you that the governor of Texas was also Secretary of Agriculture when I was Director of Agriculture. Wyoming was director and Texas is secretary, Rick Perry. He's a personal friend. We've talked, and very interested in what they're doing down there. I don't know if you know that in Texas, the governor has actually asked his attorney general the legal question of what happens if Obamacare passes and Texas decides not to participate. That's exciting stuff. That's the kind of stuff we're going to have. And it's not going to be one state. It's going to be a coalition of states. You ask 49 states. I don't suppose you're going to get 49 states. But if you get enough states to start making some noise, then somebody's going to have to start paying attention. That's how you get it back. And I think you're going to have to be smart. You can't fight every federal issue. I think you're going to have to pick your fights. But absolutely, that's how you do it. Yes, sir.
Do you have your positions on various important issues such as Second Amendment, transfer of water rights out of Wyoming, wolves?
Yes, I do.
Is that on your website?
Well, no, our website's pretty generic right now. We're not going to, but I'll be glad to visit with you about them right now if you'd like to.
Well, yeah, and I'd like to be able to have it because I've got a brother-in-law who's very much interested in some of those things.
Okay.
And I know, I'm certain you support those things, but
Absolutely.
I'd like to be able to demonstrate it to some others.
Well,
The other
Second
10.
Amendment, I think, is in the webpage. I can't remember for sure. I'd have to check. But obviously, we support Second Amendment rights. I mean, it's in the Constitution, for crying out loud. The Founding Fathers felt it was very strong, and there's a great history. People try to say that it's because of the militia. It wasn't. It was, they were terrified of the power of the Brits, Great Britain, to disarm us, and they didn't want that to ever happen again. So it's a basic, fundamental constitutional right. In terms of trans-basin transfers of water, you're talking about the pipeline from Flaming Gorge to Colorado. That's, in my administration, that's not going to happen. There's nothing of benefit for Wyoming to do that. Nothing. I can't think of any reason why we'd want to do that. I mean, all of it is negative. So I'm tempted to take a shot at our current governor, but I'll leave that alone too, because we're not running against him. Wolves. I've been involved with the wolf issue since they let those critters out. You know, I wish I could stand here and tell you that we're going to get wolves out of Wyoming. That would be my ultimate goal, but probably not going to happen. As you may or may not know, right now, Wyoming has a wolf management plan. I was very directly involved. In fact, the Department of Agriculture was the one who suggested that we have dual classification. Call them trophy game animals in the greater Yellowstone ecosystem, but the rest of the state, they're predators and can be shot on sight. That was our idea. And that was the state's idea, and that's where we went. Game and Fish went along with it, to their credit, and they sent it to the Fish and Wildlife Service, and they peer-reviewed it with 10 scientists, and they said that is a sustainable plan for the wolves to propagate. And then the politicians got involved, and they threw it out. And so there are a number of people in the state that want to make the whole state designated as trophy game animals for wolves. And my opinion, and I've talked to legislators about this personally, is that you stake out a position that is defensible, which dual classification is, and you hold the line. Because when you retreat, you're going to get sued. So you might as well, again, be defensible and then go to court, because that's where it's going to go anyway. Is that good enough?
Sure.
All right.
Well, I assumed you supported all those things.
Right.
But I'd like to be able to find it in writing.
Well, again, we will get more specific on the webpage as we get closer to the campaign.